She stands out in a crowd, man. She really does. What do you make of what happens if she wins a belt in a second weight class?
This could get her to the level of stardom that she wanted, that UFC had for her, as for a short period trying to put her in line to be the next Rousey when she was one win away from tying Rousey's defense record. Because coming back from something always makes you a bigger sort of folk hero to the fans in that regard. So she wins this title, she can claim she's the GOAT, but then she's gonna have to go back down to 115 and fight Rose a third time, which is exactly what she wants to do. And then you really have a setup to carve out the greatest career in women's fighting history.
It's kind of interesting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Danny.
The only way she's getting maybe a rematch with Rose is if she gets this title. I mean, if she loses against Valentina, it's hard to make her. It's hard to make a case for her to get a rematch against Rose. So yeah, this title means everything. Not only to solidify her position in women's MMA, but also to get that rematch that she wants.
It's kind of interesting to me. This is a side note. It's like, on the one hand, she has to fight Rose Namajunas, who trains with Shevchenko.
Yeah.
On the other hand, she has to fight Shevchenko. It's like, I wonder, will she break through or be sort of like trapped by the bookends that is Valentina Shevchenko?
Is this you, Covington, that you just can't get him to nail down the fight?
No, it's Woodley. When is Woodley ready to fight anybody ever? When? Tell me when.
He just fought 3 months ago.
Yeah, and it took us forever to get him to fight that fight. Guy never wants to fight. You want to be a world champion, but you don't want to fight anybody. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Quick, to revisit the Tyron Woodley thing just real quickly, I feel like we've seen this kind of play out before, and so, you've said that he doesn't want to fight, and then he's probably going to come out at some point and say, well, this is, like, what, can we just jump that?
He came out on his real job, TMZ, and said that he, we want, that he was looking for February or something like that, and we said no. No, we never said no. Listen, when Tyron Woodley wants to fight, we don't say no. So that wasn't true, and if you notice, TMZ took that clip down because that wasn't true. It was absolutely not true, and they took it down. What's going to happen is now these interviews are going to come out, and he's going to get all pissed off. This guy doesn't respect me, and he doesn't do this and that and all that shit, and that's what's going to happen now. And then me and Woodley are going to go at it again, and then we'll see when the guy ends up fighting. I mean, it's like Groundhog Day. That's what happens every single time.
Anaheim is 1,000% not a possibility for him, though.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. His thumb is hurt.
This is the fight that does make sense for Conor. It does make sense from a fan standpoint, from the flow of sport standpoint. It makes sense, He was one of the top guys. He was the champion. He lost to Khabib, so he's not going to fight some unranked opponent. Doesn't make sense commercially or, ranking-wise, doesn't make sense at all. But it is a difficult one for Conor. It's a difficult fight because he just lost to Khabib. And he lost pretty badly. Everybody knows that. It wasn't really a competitive fight, But, it is what it is. We all have bad nights at the office. Prior to that, he lost to Floyd Mayweather, and a couple of fights before that, he lost to Nate Diaz. If he comes back, now I'm not saying he's going to have those demons in his mind because Conor has, from what I know of him, through the internet and TV and whatnot, he's a very strong-willed and strong-minded person and has a lot of confidence. But we're only human, and the more times you get beat, and the more times you take punches, and the more times, that you're made to eat your words, that false confidence or that true confidence or whatever you want to call it does start to diminish a little bit, because Poirier isn't an easy fight. At 155 he looks outstanding, and that's why the fight does make sense, of course. But if Conor was to lose it, lost to Diaz, lost to Mayweather, lost to Khabib, loses to Poirier, he may never be the same again. He may never be the same again, and commercially viable wouldn't be the same again either.
It's kind of interesting. I didn't realize that the last loss that he had, he had Michael Johnson. He got knocked out by when Michael Johnson was on that weird fucking rising streak he had for like a year there. But then the last fight before that he lost was to Conor in September of 2014. So
how many has he won in a row now?
Now he's won 3 in a row. One no contest against Eddie Alvarez because of the accidental knee. And then
Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje, who else?
Anthony Pettis, Jim Miller, lost to Michael Johnson, and then he fought some lower level guys before that.
clarify something. I mean, this week you've talked a couple times about Dan Hardy. Or I'm sorry, not Dan Hardy, Greg Hardy. And you said that you had talked to Rachel about it and got her okay. Did you book that fight before you had talked to her, or did you talk to her after?
No, so we've been building this ESPN card for a while, and he was one of the guys that we had planned on putting on that card. But no, it wasn't booked.
So what would you have done if she would have
And then she came off the card.
What would you have done if she would have said she wasn't okay?
I'm not going to talk about Greg Hardy anymore. I already covered this. I'm not playing this with you guys. He's on the UFC roster. He's on the UFC roster. Period. End of story.
Do you mind if I just ask one final question on that topic?
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, are just curious as to like why. Like you know, it's almost like you.
Listen, you guys want to be sensitive about anybody can be sensitive about anything. You can make an issue about everything. The weird thing is that you guys give a, but she doesn't. She doesn't care. You know what she said yesterday in her statement? Please stop asking me about this. I want to focus on training. I don't want this to be an issue for me. I don't know this guy. This guy has nothing to do with me. I have nothing to do with this guy. This guy's never done anything to me. This isn't an issue. You, and a lot of other people. Your hero, and a lot of other people are making this an issue. It's not an issue for her. She doesn't have an issue with this. She actually doesn't want to talk about it anymore. And she asked you yesterday, please, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want to move on with my training and focus on that. That's it. So if you guys want to keep bringing this up and making it an issue, you can. And I get it. It probably gets hits, and it probably does well for you guys. I get it. But she doesn't want to talk about it anymore. So that's the end of the story. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done. Don't make me leave. I'm done with it.
Okamoto from ESPN here with Valentina Shevchenko, who finally gets to fight for the UFC flyweight title, UFC 231 in Toronto Saturday. It's finally here, right? 24 hours away. This is a moment that you've been waiting for a long time. How are you feeling 24 hours away?
I'm feeling so great. It's like, everything that I was keeping inside me tomorrow, it's just time to explode and just show the world everything that I have inside and get this belt finally.
Is it hard not to feel emotional after everything that you went through over the last year? I think everybody knows about it. Is it hard not to feel emotional going into a fight like this?
For me, I know so good how to control my emotion because I can divide very good where I have to put it or when I have to hide it. And this is for me natural. I'm professional.
You know Joanna very well, obviously. You fought 3 times. You guys have seen each other at events all the time. I think you probably know how to read her more than any of us do. You just stared her down for the final time. Did you take anything away from her?
It was like the usual ritual before the fight, like the last face-off. And you're right, I know Joanna so good. So for me, it will be just difference in size of gloves in this fight. And I know what to expect from her. I know her good side, her bad side, and I just will use it, everything.
Where does this fight rank for you in terms of female combat sports? MMA, Muay Thai, anything. The history of female combat sports, where do you think this fight ranks?
I think it's one of the good fight. It will be very good fight because it's like, 2 high-level stand-up fighters, and of course we will hit with a lot of strike tomorrow. So I think it's like a next level for female, all females, Muay Thai, mixed martial arts, doesn't matter what kind of martial arts we are speaking about, but it's some kind of fresh push.